Good afternoon, YouTube. Your man always your page, aka the Emperor of Female Bobby Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, we have the first bodybuilding show, pro level bodybuilding show for this month, and it is a Masters show. As you know, Masters is not Olympia qualification, and I think they should change that. I mean, since competitors work hard, we don't have the point system anymore, and what it does is, it's a lot difficult for much older competitors to be able to make it to Olympia. As long as you have younger competitors who have good genetics, it's tough. But there's some impressive women who have, held their own. And we just had, about a week ago, we just had the Masters Olympia. It was a good show, and congratulations again to Rashada Boswell and also to all the ladies who have competed at that show and all the other competitors who have earned their pro card. Their Olympic qualification. But I think this show it should be a Olympic qualification too. It's a Gary Udis show, and it's done right there in Pittsburgh. It was coinciding with this weekend with the North Americans Championships. So and I said it's a good lineup here. As you know, with the Masters, you have different ages group. You have anything from 40 up to even as high as 70. There's a lady down here who's actually 7 years old. And right here, we're going to start here. We have the list for women's bodybuilding. There's some names I recognize. With some ladies who just competed some time ago, some ladies who hadn't competed in a while, and I believe we have quite a few debuts. We have women in women's over 40 bodybuilding, over 50, over 60, and like I said again, we have one lady who's over 70. And their names are, like I said, some of these ladies are both dipping in different classes. You'll see some names a lot more than once. So first off, we have here is Christina Coy. As you know, Christina competed at the Tampa Bay just about, pretty much almost about a month ago. She took 7th in the open class, but 3rd in women over 40. She lives here in the States. She's originally from Spain, but she lives here. Next up, we have here is one Miss Erin Hawkins. And she competed last year. And she kind of reminds me of the hairstyle, kind of reminds me of Lloyd Connolly. When I saw the picture, I thought it was Lloyd Connolly at first, but, that can tell the difference between her and Lloyd. Next up, we have here the lovely, my dear friend, Miss Shay Machaka. And, we hadn't seen Shay since the first of this year, where she competed in New York Pro. She's also competing in women over 50, so she's double dipping in 2 different classes. Next up, we have here one Miss Tammy M. Murphy. And she's also dipping here. She's both doing not just women's open, but also women's physique. Impressive lady. I think she hadn't competed since the last year's Texas Pro. Next up, we have one Miss Shannon Powell, and she competed at Chicago Pro just about a little over a month or so ago. And this is going to be her second show since I believe this might be her pro debut, I believe. I'm trying to keep with ladies. We have another lady here who was also competing in both women's open and women's masters. And this is the lovely senior Maria Monica Vega. She last competed at the Tampa Bay, where she competed both in open class and also in masters over 50. I think she's doing 55 too. Next up, we have here, I said again, in the over 50 part, we have both Shay Mashaka, Shannon Powell, and Maria Vega. Right here, we have here Nadia Campos, who last competed at Chicago. I believe she just did women's over 55 at that show. And we have here one Mrs. Tracy Smith. I believe this is going to be her pro debut. And next up, we have here a lady who competed last year at this show, and that is one Miss Donna Sterling, or you might remember her back in the days, Donna Wevesto. She competed a good part of the 90s, took a break, had some kids, and then she made her comeback and her pro card last year. Didn't compete at this show. I think she did pretty well that show, I believe. I think she double dipping with bodybuilding and physique. And also, she's also double dipping at the show also. And also, we have here over 60. We have here one Miss Ella J. Bello. And right here, we have a lady who I used to be in good contact with. We hadn't been in contact a good while. We have here one Miss Maria C. Flores. And she hadn't seen her competed since, I believe, 2020. It's been a long time since we're in action. And last but not least, we have here in women over 60, we have one Miss Linda Childers Perry. I believe this is going to be her pro debut. And this is the only lady we have in women's bodybuilding over 70. And this is one Miss Shannon Burton. And this is also, I believe, is going to be her pro debut. I mean, and can you believe this woman's over 70? 70. I went and when I'm searching for, I looked at social media. I looked at the pictures. I wouldn't think she was 70. Maybe close to maybe late 50s, early 60s. But you know what? I mean, I'm going to tell you, this is about the bodybuilding lifestyle. You don't look as old as you think you look. I mean, it's just unbelievable, some of these ladies I've seen since I started doing this content on women's bodybuilding. Now, we have here is the list for both women's over 40, over 50, and over 60. You know, and see, let's see some names repeating themselves. As you said again before, Tambry Murphy is doing both. This show is women's over 40. Also, Miss Shannon Powell's also. Also, we have here one Miss Lisa Arnold, who competed at the Tampa Bay Pro just about a month ago. Miss Kara Baruth, who competed last year at the Mid-Atlantic show, but I remember seeing that she competed also at the Savannah Pro, if I'm correct. Next up, we have here one Miss Robin Burney, who also competed in Savannah last year, women's physique, and she's competed also at the Mid-Atlantic show last year. Here we have one lady who just got off the plane no more than about a week ago from Romania, from the Masters Olympia, and that is one Miss Candice Carr, and she was in top 10 at that show. Impressive lady. Next up, we have here one Miss Tia Douglas, and Miss Douglas she mostly competes a little bit of Masters, but I think she can probably do well in open. She's done both women's bodybuilding and physique. We have here one Miss Cindy Flannery, and we have not seen her since the very first Texas Pro, and that's been 2 years ago. It's been a while since she's seen compete. Next up, we have one Miss Stephanie Fredrickson, and she also pretty much just got off the plane from Romania to do this show. I mean, yeah, they got a lot of respect for you ladies. You just did a show on another side of the world, and then come here to do this show barely a week ago. And, I hope she does well this show. Next, we have here another lady who competed last year at the show at the Masters World Championship. That is Miss Winona Grayson. Now, Mrs. Grayson has double dip. 1 year she's doing both women's physique and women's bodybuilding, and she did pretty impressive. She won in her classes. She said again, she just got off, pretty much just got off the plane from Romania after the Masters show. She didn't crack the top 10 in that show. I think she was next to the bottom, I believe. Next up, we have here one Miss Jacqueline Hale. And I believe this is going to be her pro debut. One lady, I couldn't find a picture about her, so I just used this. We'll have Miss Lisa Leon. Next up, we have Miss Jennifer Mancini. If I got her name wrong, I want to apologize. And here's a lady I enjoyed the pleasure to do an interview with. She's done pretty good this year. This is the lovely Mrs. Robin May. As you know, she took third at Tampa. Then she didn't do too well at this master show. I think she was either 12th or 13th. I remember I saw the list. But then just get off the plane from Romania and then do this show. I can respect this woman's 57 years old. I can respect her game. Next up, we have one Miss, the lovely Miss Oksana Pari. As you know, Miss Pari was she was on the invited list for the the Masters Olympia, but situation happened with her passport. As you know, she's originally from Russia, but she lives in the States, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So I think most countries, especially with the State Department, are not offering many Russians, even if they're no longer Russian citizens living in a Russian passport. Maybe it's just me, but she should have been at the show. I think she would have done good. But this show if this was an open level class show and Olympic qualification, I would guarantee you she win the show and possibly get, maybe even get an Olympic qualification. But I hope there's still one more show left for women's physique. I think a couple more shows left for women's physique for Olympic qualification. Maybe she'll do one of them. Right here we have one Miss Christina Porter. Miss Porter competed with women's bodybuilding at the Tampa Bay Pro. Pretty much about a month ago. And then she switched over no more than a couple of weeks ago back to physique and competed at the Texas Pro. And then we have one Miss Misty Wise, and Miss Wise is this is going to be, I believe, her debut. Also, I saw the list. We have, I missed this name, one Miss Cheryl Cannon, who competed at Atlanta. I forgot to put it on I should have, I missed the name, but I saw it just a while ago on the list. Now, next up, we have here women over 50, and again, we have here one Miss Shannon Powell, who is competing in this show. Then we have another on the list also is Donna Sterling. Next up, also we have Andrea Canis, who just I saw, I just moved her. This is on Andrea Crackers. Sorry, Cacus. I'm sorry. I want to apologize. Also, after that is Miss Lisa Arnold. Then Miss Robin Burney. Also, Candace Carr, Lenora Grayson, and Lisa Leone. And also, Robin Mays is also competing in women's over 50. Right here we have one Miss Renee Bartlett, who is also competing in women's over 50. Right here one Miss Sherry Boyce, who is also competing in this show. Next up we have one Miss Emily Holder, who's competing in this show. Then we have one Miss Pamela Matthews. Next up we have here, Miss Patricia Watson. We have here one Miss Lynn Pellicher. Right here, my dear friend, lovely Mrs. Mary Ann Wachowski. Can't see Mary Ann in action a good while. She competed last year at this show, and I hope she did well. And next up, we have here, last but not least, here we have Miss Laura Zuniga. And I gotta, I know it didn't sound like that, but I'm gonna say Miss Laura Z. Out of respect, I don't want to chop up Nate too bad. And then here we have, last but not least, we have Miss Linda Shelders Perry, who's competing in women's, bodybuilding, competing here in women over 60. And also Miss Emily Holder is also competing in women's over 60. And actually you have here more Miss Sharon Goldstein. And she's competing in women over 60. I wouldn't think this woman is over 60. Wow, she's supposed to be to her 40s. I mean, I'm telling you, the bodybuilding lifestyle, these ladies are very impressive. Now, this is the Gary Udis show. They had it last year, and the show was created as an opportunity for master level competitors. But as we all know, this year we don't have the point system, which is a lot harder for some competitors who get to Olympia qualification. You have to win. You can't go by points. But this is a show that could be, and it should be, Olympia qualification. You can break it down. You can take, I know some women will double dip in 2 different classes, even 2 different divisions. But, as long as you have enough women left for overall, you should have an overall, qualification for the Olympia. They can do it. I mean, these do it like the amateurs. These ladies are paying to compete in the show like amateurs. So like amateurs, how they have to compete overall for the pro card, let them compete for an overall for the Olympic qualification. That, to me, that's truthfully, I think it's fair. They deserve this. Now that you don't have the point system, and it's going to be a lot harder and tougher for these ladies who are over 40, over 50, over 60s, and even 70 to get qualification. They can't. It's hard for someone like Shay Mashaka or even Christine Coy to beat someone like Andrea Yo or Andrea Shaw, or it's harder for someone even like even like I said, Oksana is very impressive, but still she has to compete with some people like Natalia Correjo or Emily Sherbert. It's still be tough for her. But like I said, this should be a show that's Olympic qualification, especially for women's bodybuilding. There's so few shows for them. But this could be a great Olympic qualification show. I mean, Gary Udis, he's kind of pretty much part of the Emmanuel family. As you notice, again, this show is adjacent to the North American Championships, which is a pro qualifier. The picture's already out because, other shows takes a couple of days to get the pictures. These pictures are already out because I know some ladies just competed in the the amateur part and, pro qualifier, and they already got their pictures. But like I said, this is a show that should be Olympic qualification for these IFB pros, even though they're paying for it. But check it out. It's going to be on Sunday. Catch the prejudging. I might watch it because, hey, there's some ladies I become friendly with and want to support them. So anyway, check out the show. Catch it on Sunday. I think the prejudge is going to be 8 o'clock. And then I think you'll have the finals later around about 5 or 6, I believe. So I wish all the ladies I know who I become friendly with best of luck. And hope maybe in the future this show is Olympic qualification. Anyway, this is me, Always Joe's page, a.k.a. the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out.